Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. My name's Barry.
And I'm Jay.
And together we are Mitosu Crafts.
Welcome to our channel and Funfold Friday. So this evening Barry is creating magic slider card.
It is, yes.
Featuring the Gifts of Giving stamp set. Yeah. Gift of
that
Giving.
one right there.
And the Barry Christmas Designer's paper. So if you are watching the replay, do fast forward to the demonstration if you prefer, as we'll say hello to those of you who have joined us. Thank you so much. So we have Quinn, hello, Lois, Valerie, Pauline, hello, Sandra, Bling Bling Crafter, Pat, Valerie, Jackie, Danette, Hermelinda, Angie, and that is everyone. Do share to your crafter friends. We'd really appreciate it as well. Thank you so much.
Lovely. So yes. So I think we'll just crack on. Do bear with me tonight. I haven't actually designed this card yet. So I am going to be working on the fly. I've not made this. It's an idea. I wanted to do it into this style. And it should be easily adapted.
Yes.
Shall I show the original one which we did last night at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, I'll show you what I'd made last night, and now hopefully we're going to change it slightly today.
Ooh.
So, yeah, lovely. Anyway, let's go camera down, I reckon. Let's pop on some lights here.
Good luck.
Good luck, I'm going to need it.
You'll be fine.
Lovely, so, yeah, we are still kind of not unpacked from last night's class either. So I've got everything in boxes still. So this is a card which I made a couple of years ago on our channel. So you may have seen this one. And for a class, the ladies which we did for a class really liked this card. So we did another one. So bringing it into a more current stamp set, which was this one right here. So this is what I made with the ladies last night. So it is this card right here, and then what we do is we pull this out here and we colour it. So goes in, and it's an easy one to do. So if this gets pulled out completely, you can still display it as is. If it gets pulled out completely, it's so easy just to pop back in and go like that. So that there is a magic slider card, hopefully made easy as well. I've given it the title, Magic Slider Card Made Easy, because I think it is easy. It's others I've seen out there have been quite complicated. So this is an easy way of doing it. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Okay, but I'm going to be still using the Gift of Giving stamp set, but I'm going to change it into a square card, and I'm going to be using the deckled rectangle dies.
That's called circles.
Deckled rectangles, deckled circles. I used the stitched rectangles yesterday for this one, but have retired now as well. So if you've got the rectangle ones, then this will work perfectly, which is why I'm going to do it with your circles and turn it into a square card. So, as I said at the beginning, do bear with me because I haven't designed this yet, so I don't know what my measurements are going to be. So I'm going to work my measurements out as we speak. To this, I'm just going to do one thing for a moment. Just bear with me one moment. I just need to move the camera charger to make sure that one doesn't go flat whilst we're recording. There we have it. So I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight on this. Let's give myself a little bit more room. And because I'm going to turn this into a square card, I'm going to be using some A4, and I'm going to turn this into, I reckon, about a 5.5 by 5.5 inch, which would be a 14 centimetre by 14 centimetre card. Okay, so because then that way you can then, if we go 5.5 inches, we can get an 11-inch cardstock out of this. So then it works for both markets. It works for everyone because we've got slightly bigger than 11, and obviously US and Canada, you have got 11 inches. So we're going to start off with make it a 5.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to take my card base to 11 inches, which will be 28 centimetres, and then take it to 5.5 inches, 14 centimetres this side here. So it's basically given me an 11 by 5.5. or 28 by 14, and then we would then score this. Oh no, actually no, don't score that. I was just doing a regular card. So we are going to do that. This is where I need to work out my maths. I thought that'd be easy. I'll be able to work it out on the fly. It's straightforward. I forgot I need to turn this into a gatefold. So, excuse me. Bear with me whilst I just work this out quickly. So 28, 14. So I need to do that 7, 40. Yeah. Okay.
Will you need because you'll have.
Oh, I need to do a channel, don't I?
Yeah.
So, bear with me. Grab myself a pencil. So this is what happens, or a pen. There we go. So I need to take this to. I'm going to pop some pencil marks on this whilst I just work this out. So you're seeing how I work this out now. So 14 is my separate one. I need to take this to 14, so I want to go to 7 down there. So that's that. So that there is 5.5. Okay, so it's going to be the inside is going to be slightly smaller.
Or you can cut the height to make it a square.
Okay, all right. So we're going to go 7, 7.5. Okay, and are you writing notes, Jay, as well?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
It's centimeters.
Centimeters.
Okay.
So basically what you're going to need to do is you are going to need to score this at 7 centimeters and then 7.5 centimeters on both sides, which is going to be 2 3/8 of an inch. Sorry, not 2 3/8, 2 3/4 and 3 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to go. I'm going to do it in inches because I've worked it to 11. So I'm going to go to that one, and then to that one there, and now I'm going to do that both sides. And what are we taking off here, Jay?
And then just measure the
yeah, measure this. So this has now taken this to a 5.
That's it.
So we are. I'm taking this down to a 5 completely, aren't I? So it's turned into a 5 by 5 card,
yeah.
now, isn't it? Yeah. So we turn it into a 5 by 5 card, not a 5 and 5.5 by 5.5. So let's go back through those measurements once again. I haven't got a bit of pen and paper. I can write them down for you. Jay's writing them down as we speak. So we need an 11 by 5. Okay, and then we are then scoring it on both sides at 2 3/4 and 3 inches on both sides. 2 3/4 and 3 inches. Okay, that there is going to create our card. Don't fold and burnish this just yet.
The centimeter should be
Centimeters.
28
by
13.
By 13. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you score at 7 and 7.5, I think you said.
7 and 7.5 for your centimeters. I will write all of this down in the description down below. Okay, so don't worry about remembering and writing it down yet. I'll pop all the measurements down below for you, so don't worry about that. So that there is your card base. Don't fold and burnish this just yet. Going to grab yourself a pencil or a pen, and you're just going to pop a mark on the inside here. This is just so you can make sure you can remember what is going to be the top of your card. And the inside of the card is the bubbly, the bubbly part. Bumpy part, not bubbly part. I knew bubbly was wrong. The bumpy part. So if you feel your score lines, if you can feel them bumpy, that's going to be the inside of your card. So just pop yourself like a little pencil mark on what you want to be the top of your card, and then that will make sense later on. Again, don't fold and burnish this just yet. What we're going to do now is we're going to grab ourselves some designer series paper. So I'm going to use this lovely red blue and very vanilla, and I think it's got a bit of Night of Navy in here as well, but it's going to use it predominantly. It's got the Misty Moonlight in here and the red, which is why I paired it up with this one here, and the blue and the red goes lovely together. So we have worked out that this inner channel is a 5 inches thing, so I'm going to need to cut my designer series paper to now fit inside that. So we're going to take that to, I would go to say 4 7/8 of an inch. 4 7/8, and in centimeters is, if you go to 12.5 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters, you'll get yourself some designer series paper. Okay, and then that there will then be a perfect inside part to go on here. What we want to do first is we want to grab ourselves our dies. Need to find them. I've buried them somewhere, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah. There they are. So these are the lovely deckled circles. Oh, I hope you feel better, Mandy. So these are the deckled circles. So I now need to, and the reason I'm using these is because they're also layering circles, because you're going to need to have a couple of these on the go. So I now need to find one which is going to work well with this. And a circle works well inside a square, which is another reason why we have used this.
And big enough. So
And big enough.
yeah.
So we need to go with that one. And then we would then go with that one there. I now need to just see if that is going to be big enough there. Let's just see that one.
Can you tell me which?
What ones I'm using?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just deciding what ones I want to go for first. If I want to go for the bigger one or the two smaller ones and that one. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to be using, the dies I'm going to use is going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th and the 7th from the largest. Okay, so if you're going to use your deckled circles, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and a 7th, they're the two dies which I'm going to be using, and then I will be using one of the smaller ones afterwards to cover up the back, but we'll decide that one afterwards. But for the main aperture, we're going to use 6 and 7 from the largest down. Okay, so what we want to do first is we want to grab ourselves some low-tack tape. This one right here. And we're going to take the largest of the two dies. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to position this centrally where I want it to be. And then I'm going to pop some tape on this. Here. And here. So that there is where we're going to die cut that one out. So I've kind of like positioned that as centrally as I possibly as I can, and that's where I'm going to die cut. So I'm just going to die cut that out of the paper first. What are you whinging about, Jay? I gave you my cold, yes.
Yeah.
I shared. I like sharing. So that's that one. So we're die cutting. The largest one of the two is going to be cut out of the designer series paper. And then what we can then do is we can then stick this to the front of the card. Remembering this is the top, so when we turn it over we can then stick this in, making sure that your pattern paper goes the way that you want it to be. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this now onto the card base. There we have it. I do like blue and red cards, don't I do? There's something special about a blue and a red card. So there we go, that's that part done. Pop this one to one side because we will come back to this later on, just carefully removing that low tack tape. Right there, and we'll use that next part in a moment for the next bit of die cutting. So what we want to do now is we want to grab the second one down. So remember, this is the layering die, which is the next one down to this. So I'm going to position this on the inside, and the same thing again. Pop your low tack tape on the inside. If your low tack tape isn't as low tack as you would like it to be, it doesn't matter if it's too much on the inside, because we can recut these from other pieces of paper. So if it tears, it's better to tear the inside rather than the outer, because obviously the outer is going to be part of your card. The inner is going to be as a scrap piece, which we will be using, but if you tear it, we can quite easily cut another piece from another scrap bit of paper, so it doesn't matter. So make sure you tape on the inside of the die rather than the outside, okay, just if you're worried about your tape tearing your cardstock. And then run that through the machine once again. And for now, that's all the die cutting done. Okay, we'll just carefully remove this one. That's it. And then what we can do is we can stick, I'll do that now whilst I've got them. If you're going to use these, if these have come out fine, you can stick these two together. And this will be something to finish off the card at the end if you choose to do this. So we'll just stick those like that. Like that. Pop that to one side just to dry it. So there we have it. That's that piece. What we now need to do is we now need to grab our basic white. So just bear with me one moment whilst I just move some bits. So we've got some basic white here. I'll use this piece which is on the table. And what we want to do is we want to take this to big enough to go on the inside. So remember, the inside was a 5x5. I'm just going to go a little bit smaller than a 5x5. So we go to 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. Okay. Which is going to be that one right there, which will go on the inside. Like so. Good. So what we're going to do now I am going to bring in something which unfortunately we can't buy from us anymore, which is the lovely Stamparatus, but other stamping platforms are available. So if you've got a stamping platform, then you can still do this, but you will need a stamping platform for this. because of the double stamping which we're going to do. Whilst I've actually, before I do my stamping, I'm just going to actually get my acetate or my window sheets cut as well. And we want to cut this to the same size as we've cut our basic white. So that everything which I'm showing you and teaching you at the moment, you can, as long as you kind of like using layering circles, which are down, and you've got that. These next pieces, the paper and the acetate are all exactly the same size. So it's very easy to adjust this to anything which you've got. So remember, we caught with this was a 4 7/8 by 4 7/8. So I'm just going to cut this down here. So you'll be able to on one piece of acetate, you'll be able to get 4 cards out basically, with some other little bits which you can make some lovely shaker cards maybe. Because I was thinking with this one here, the same principle with this card. This leftover bit, you can do the same here. Put it all down, and you've got yourself a shaker card as well, potentially with that, because it's the same thing. You just need to seal it in. I'm just going to pop all of my acetate away.
They should have like a colour film.
Yes, they should.
On one side.
Yeah, because I'm going to pop my acetate away because I do what I did in the class last night with the ladies, which we had, and thought the acetate's on the table somewhere, and obviously it's down there. I said, where is it? Obviously you can see it here because I got the light reflecting off it, but I couldn't see it in front of them last night. So you've got this one and this one, which are exactly the same size. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in our lovely stamping platform. We're going to pop this in here, and we're going to take this. Now, what you want to do for the first thing is, for your positioning, is fold over the line which is closest to the designer series paper, technically kind of the wrong way. We want to fold it in, we want to fold it back on itself. Just the one, because what we're going to do is we're going to kind of butt this up against the end here, grab our stamp, position that in the middle where it would be. Okay, so therefore now when that is closed down, that there is going to be in the center, like so. We can then remove that. We can then make sure we've just realised. Let's do that without the with the correct foam mat, and then it should be in the same position still, but.
There we go.
One. Just going to do that there. Okay, so that there is now in position. So what we can do is we can then pop this down here using our bits here, our magnets. We can then just secure this in place. This one and this one here, and we're going to stamp this in Memento or whatever you want to stamp in, which you can colour, because obviously if you're going to use alcohol markers, you're going to need to use a Memento. So we always use Memento for our stamping of our lined images if we're going to be colouring it this. So ink that up nicely. And then we can then bring that down like that. You can see there we've got a lovely image. If you miss something, a good thing with a stamping platform is you can just go on again and give yourself another coating. So all stamping platforms work the same way, or the same principle. It holds the stamp in place. You can then stamp and then do it again if you miss something, or this is great if you're doing multiples. Okay, do not at the moment remove this stamp, because that there is that, and now that, when that goes in like that, will be in the position you want it on the front here. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to grab your acetate, which I would recommend you pop somewhere you can see it, not on a piece of white paper. And we're going to do this again. Make sure it's in the same position. Pop on our magnets, and we are going to have to use on this one, we are going to use Stays On ink. You will need Stays On or something permanent, which will then go onto the window sheet, because if you use Memento, it won't stick to it. So we'll do this here. So if you're doing bulk batch of these, then you want to do all of your Memento stamping first, then go through and then do all of your window sheet. So we've got Stays On, and we'll just do that over again like that. Down there like that, and there we have it. That there is then stamped onto my window sheet. Remove and remove. That is going to be wet at the moment, so just leave that to one side. But technically, if everything has worked okay, when we put these two back together again, they should line up to create one image. Okay, and that's how you line those two up. So you do need to have some kind of platform or the ability to be able to stamp two images in exactly the same position to be able to do this technique. We are done with those inks. I'm just going to clean my stamp. So I have got myself the chamois, which can just take that off as well. We do have a Stays On cleaner, but if you're quick enough you can get that off, and I will just clean it up afterwards with the proper Stays On cleaner, but if need be. But I'll just take off that right there. We'll just pop that to one side because we are now done with the stamping side. What we want to do now is we want to do some colouring. So again, this is still a little bit wet, so just pop that to one side, which isn't going to have anything fall on it. So I'm just going to pop it on my Stamparatus platform, so that we can, that can just continue drying. So whilst that's drying, we can do some colouring. Ooh. Oh, sorry, I just need to slurp a drink. So we'll do some colouring. Now I don't actually know what colours to colour these in, so I may do what I did with some of my colouring yesterday and do a little bit of blue for the cup. I will have a little bit of, I think, maybe red and white for the candy cane. Have you got any images there, Joe? I couldn't.
No, I can't cover some. So I don't even know.
We've got a bit of green going on for some of the leaves. So let's start off with those. So some quick colouring. Have it. We will have some red and white stripes for the white there that we're going to pop them. So red and white stripes. A candy cane. I kind of, when I'm doing like small bits, I kind of like dab rather than colour around. So that's those bits there. I will need a little bit of, so I need to just decide what colour I want to do my cookie. So Let's use Jay's lovely chart, which we have got going on here. I always forget we got this. So it's done this chart. So we got the what would be a nice cookie colour? I reckon medium natural tone 600 might be a nice, or the 400 might be a nice. Let's start with the 600s and see what that looks like for a nice cookie. That's that for a nice little bit of cookie. And I will go with a 400 as well. There's a 400 there. Just to maybe just add a little bit of, I'm just going to go around, just do a little bit of shading. And some places here. So we have got next Tuesday actually, and we have got our Gift of Giving colouring masterclass. Now I'm no colourer here, Jay is the expert colourer, so if you would like to learn how to colour this set, all three of these images, then you can book into our online class, which is next week. Head over to, I'll just pop our website up on there, head over to mitosucrafts.com, click onto our events and stuff on there at the top tab, and you'll find the classes all in there. And Jay will go through it. It takes a couple of hours, and he will go talk you through. You can follow along step by step of how to colour these images. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a 900, I think. So where's the 900, which is that one. And I'm going to just do a little bit on these tops of these marshmallows. Kind of just had a little bit of, they've just been toasted a little bit. I do just want to just add a little bit of, so that was a 900, just maybe try it as 700 now. Right in the corners. Like that. And what I'm quite enjoying at the moment is using the colour lifter to just blend some of this out a little bit. So that's kind of what I've done with my colouring there with my marshmallows, just to give them a little bit of frosting. I'm going to go with a different red for my berries. I'm going to go with some cherry cobbler here. I'm not sure if they're meant to be red, but they are now. That's that one. And then with the blue, this is the part I'm a little bit nervous about. I'm going to come in because it's the biggest part, which is why I'm nervous. Like that on the inside up there as well, because that is the inside of the cup. I'll use the darker one. Just to give me a little bit of shading here. Like that. blend it out again with the light. See, for this technique to work, you need to obviously have a coloured image, because that's what it's going to expose later on. So the more colouring you have on this, the better it is. So I'm just going to come in a little bit more. Scribble that in. Kind of just wanting to kind of go into them. I'm going to actually just cover myself up. I'm going to go into the more of the middle. Just kind of leave like a white, as if the light's kind of like catching that a little bit. I need a darker blue, so let's maybe just bring myself in a bit of Night of Navy and bring that in over there. And let's blend that back out again. With that. So I'm kind of just scribbling this in at the moment. Like that. So I'm quite liking the blender pen, just going to blend that out a little bit in the middle. Just to soften all of that. One more bit of Night of Navy on that one there. I haven't seen Jay's colouring of this cup yet, but I have seen his colouring of his Santa, and it looks nice. And obviously we just need a little bit of darkness on the inside there, because that's where the cup obviously is going to be darker in there, and that's where I'm going to leave the colouring on that one. So that there is some basic colouring. Quick, let's just pop all of these away. Is just going to be some simple colouring which you got using the blends. So that there has now come through and done all of this, which is where, when we finish the card up, this part which we have done from earlier on, we'll go over that and cover up that, so that we can then write the sentiment, do another bit of white here to cover up the sentiment. So that's why we've saved that part. But now we've got the part which we now want to construct and put all of this card together. So we've got this. Now, did I want to add any more stamping to this at the moment? Just bear with me one moment, because I was wanting to do, no, I'm going to leave that for now on the stamping on the inside. So that's where we are with this. What we will now want to do is we now want to take our acetates, and we also want to grab ourselves, so these are, again, another tool which you're going to need for this card is the foam adhesive strips, and you're going to need to have yourself some snips, and we are going to remove one strip, and we're going to stick as close to the top as you can get this, and then come down. So you can technically use one strip can do all three sides, but try and make the two sides need to be as close to the top and as close to the edge as you get them, and then the bottom part is just going to act as a stopper. So it's more important that you concentrate on these two ones, so on the sides to the top, and bring that down like so, and then just snip off. Just have a straight edge. This is just to act as a channel, and then with the bottom piece we just need to add this in down here to stop our slider part falling out. Okay, so that's that. Now this part, what we need to do is we now need to stick this to this. Okay, so what I would suggest you do is you remove one side only. You want to grab this here and you want to position this over the top and position it so you're happy with the positioning. And again, I'm not sticking it down here just yet, so have it down like that. Once you've got it in position, hold it in the center and then stick that side there. Okay, and that's that part. Once you're happy with that, you can then go ahead and then stick these other two. It's just easier to do one side first because I hold it in the middle like that so that you can then see it clearly. Stick one side down, then go ahead and then remove one and two. And because this is in the correct position anyway, the other two should naturally fall into position. So this is kind of like the makings of a shaker card in a way. If you were doing a shaker card, you would just seal this whole thing in, obviously after putting your shaker elements in, and then seal it in. So it's actually the same way really. So that's that part. And then what we need to do is remember what is your top of your card, which is now this mark. So we can then pop this in like that. So before we do, just fold and burnish all of these now the correct way. Because remember earlier on we folded one of them, but we folded it that way. We're now making sure we fold everything in on itself. Like that and like that. And then that one and that one. So it's kind of like a reverse gatefold card as well. Because normally in the traditional sense you've got a gatefold card which would be like this and then it would open up, but we're going to do a reverse. So we've done that one. What I want to do now is I need to grab myself some, I'm going to use Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm going to then just run some tape all the way around the edge. Like that. Okay, if need be we can do some more in the middle, because on the rectangle you don't really need to fill these up, but what we want to make sure everything is sticking as best as possible on the inside. And Stampin' Seal is the stronger of the two seals. You've got Seal and you've got Stampin' Seal Plus, so it's more for construction. Because we're going on to acetate, I'm going to just stick this down with the plus. And then what we want to do is we're kind of just going to, we know that this fits in quite as a snug fit, so we're just going to position this in again. Carefully, you can see it just got caught up a little bit there. No, Tommy. Tommy,
come here.
I've got a cat trying to get on me.
And it's under the DSPs.
That's gone in there. And that channel which we've done is the perfect height for the, well, you could probably go a little bit tighter, but it doesn't matter. It's still fine. And there we have now got our card. So as it is, that is quite a nice little card with a topper anyway, so you could just do that without doing all of the faff, which I've just done with doing all of that. But that there is the slider. Well, that is the part of the card. We will just take ourselves some more designers, not just some designer series paper, we'll take ourselves some more basic white, and we will cut this. Now, one thing I didn't do was measure the insides. gonna Tommy. Just gonna move our stuff. I've got the paper on the side, and
say 4.5.
so I'm just gonna basically measure the inside of our. If you've put if you're using the Stampin' Up foam adhesive strips to the edge, like I told you to do, this part would need to be approximately 4.5 by 4.5. Okay, so I'm going to just use another piece which hasn't got a dirty mark on it. So you'll just need a piece of basic white, and we'll take that to 4.5 inches by, what length would you say, Jay? It's going to need to be around about 5, isn't it? 5.5.
If you want it flush, then you can keep taking some down.
I'm going to take this to 5.5 to start off with. But if you want to go flush, then you can get more out of your paper. I'm just going to use something else which, again, at the moment is now retired. But again, a lot of people will have some kind of corner punch to round your edges. So just round the edges of, if you've got the ability to do that with this. And I'm just going to then give it a bit of decoration here and here. And this is where, if I've got my maths correct, I think we pop this in here like this, and that goes in there. So you give the card to this, like that, somebody like that. We can bring this down if we want to, but what they do is they pull this out here, and then it reveals that lovely colouring, and then it can then be displayed. This can get popped to one side and displayed, and that there is a simple magic slider card. I'm just going to take that down just a fraction for you. So that was 5.5. I'm going to take that down to.
If you turn it the other way, or it depends if you wanted the lid to be up or if you want to fit it in a square. And
so I'm just going to take that. So I've just taken 1/4 inch off. So if you want to fit this into a square envelope, then Jay will tell you how that's done in a second. He's trying to tell me, and I can't concentrate on two things. So that there is the magic slider card.
Amazing.
Which I think it's just wow. It is very, very easy to do. Last night it took us 2 hours to do this card with 6 ladies last night, but then I had to make up another quick kit because one of the ladies couldn't make it. And it took me 10 minutes to make up all the elements for all of this for her, so she then she could then make it when she could then get in, and that's that. So I think that's really, really nice. If you wanted to, if you're using this particular one, what I was thinking of doing was grabbing this. I'm not going to do this, but I'm just going to show to you what my other idea for taking this just to another level if you wanted to. Because you've got lots of.
You could also mask off the sentiment when you do the acetate. So when you lift it, it has the sentiment inside. I didn't want to put you off.
No, and I'm still looking at you going, Seth, you know me. Jay has got all of these lovely ideas, and he tells me as if I'm going to get it straight away. Now it could be the most simplest of ideas, which he's trying to tell me, but he has to tell me probably around about 5 times before I fully understood it. And he kind of just looks at me and goes, "What don't you get?" Like he's just given me that look just then, and when he's just said you could just mask that off with a sentiment. I'm going to say, "What are you talking about?" I've got no idea. So I've just looked at him and gone, "Yeah, that's nice." I just gave him that smile as if to kind of like go, "Yes, thank you for that. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Shush now."
That's why I didn't tell you whilst you were doing it.
Jay does have good ideas, obviously, but I'm not very good at understanding them instantly. And I often say to myself, I thank you so much for having the confidence in me that I'm going to understand what you said straight away. But can you repeat that to me once again, please, so I do quite understand. I do understand it. And then I go again. Just explain it.
You're funny.
Sure, it must frustrate you, doesn't it? So we're colouring my berries again there. Red. So the slider card itself is actually finished now. So have you actually been writing down all the measurements as we've been going, Jay?
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So have you been typing them in the description already? So I've still got to do that, have I?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I didn't want to open it just in case it messes it up.
That's fine. So I don't know whether or not this is going to work. I should have done this earlier on. Actually, I could have given it to Joe to fussy cut.
Well, if you give me, there's 3 there, you can cut it into 3, and then I can cut another one. Just it one. You're faster at fussy cutting than me.
So I'm not sure if not this idea is going to work, but we can fussy cut these out. So who's going to have a go at who's made a magic slider card before? Who's going to give my version a try? Because there's slider cards out there where the paper's flush, the slidey part is flush to it. And then if you pull it all the way out, you then struggle to get it back in again. And then obviously the person, if they're a non-crafter who you're giving it to, doesn't quite understand what they're doing, and then they hack it to pieces as they're trying to get it back in. Whereas because I've given you a big enough gap for pushing that slider in, hopefully it's a little bit more user friendly. Is my theory anyway. Okay, so this is a redone of just the technique I did a couple of years ago with the Santa and another set.
I put the link in the...
Okay, Jay's put the link in the comments for that. So I was kind of like thinking maybe we can, if you wanted to, you could do it. You could, if you really wanted to, you could do a whole thing and go all the way round. Or Jay, what would you do with these now? Would you do anything with these, or is that's not working?
I think it's fine.
With or without?
It's small. I would say without.
Yeah.
You can add it on the inside.
Yeah, my initial idea of what I probably would have done is what I was thinking of doing was you could have stamped these. You could have kind of stamped these on the inside maybe, and maybe made a little bit of a.
I wouldn't go that far because it's well, you can use the stamparatus, I guess.
Yeah.
So
you can kind of like do something to kind of create a wreath is what I was thinking. I don't think it necessarily works for this, so I'm not going to add them on. I don't think that's was just an idea which I was thinking of. Hasn't quite worked, but you may want to do so. You could do some ink blended if you wanted to on the inside, just to kind of like pull that all together. But yeah. That'd be great. You wouldn't, if you were going to do your if you were going to do your wreath part, then you wouldn't do it on that. I would say wouldn't do it on the acetate. Do it on the stamped bit. So when you reveal it, it's there. Like I did on my original card, which I did for this. Let me just show it to you if I can find it. This was my original card from a couple of years ago. So we've got this one. As we pull this out, we can then see we've then got the robin, which is sitting on top of the Christmas tree, and I did a little bit of blending on this as well. So it goes in, so the robin isn't there, and then the robin is. So and then the set ends and so on. So that there is just something else which you can do, just to add, and you can do the same principle on here, but potentially with those little bits of sprigs, stamp on it, but not on the acetate. With this part here, which Jay's just reminded me of, what you would want to do is you can grab your stitch circles, your deckled circles once again. Take the next size down, so you've got these two which you've done. Take the next one down, which is going to go onto that one, or the smaller if you want to. It's entirely up to you. We can then, if this is big enough, perfect. I'm just rambling now, sorry. Another thing which Jay tells me to shush.
I didn't say to. I said slippers.
So just taking the next one down. And that can then go on that one.
And I guess it strengthens the back.
It does strengthen the back. So that's going to go on like that. So this is where you can then write your sentiment. So if you know who you're going to give this one to straight away, I would suggest you write your sentiment now before you stick this on, because obviously you're going to then, and then obviously this is our colouring, which doesn't look very nice on the back. So these pieces which we've gone out here,
you can add your berries. Yeah, because that's the old one, isn't it? You can take the new ones out. I have to take it from that.
let's grab ourselves a new glue. That's it. And then at the moment, again, I'm going to just pay attention to how my DSP looks on this to make sure my trees are going the correct way, because people like Jay will come along and go, "You've stuck that upside down." And I hadn't realised that I did that until he said it, and now it's all I can see because my trees are the wrong way up.
You said they're arrows.
They're arrows pointing down. But yeah, it should have been that way. So when I designed this card, I didn't pay attention to my little notch and my little mark I made at the back to tell me what is meant to be the top part. And I stuck it down. And I was thinking, so I'm really happy with that. And now the trees are upside down. No one in the class noticed at all last night until Jay went, "They're upside down," and that's all we could see. So, Mr. Eagle Eye. So I've made sure my trees are the correct way.
Well done.
And my trees are the correct way there. And that there is my simple magic slider card. I'm just going to do one more thing with the stamp set, just so that we're using more than just one stamp. We will grab the bits there, grab that, a little bit of scrap paper just in case I go over, grab myself a little bit of blue, and I'm just going to just do one at the top there like that, just to decorate those, and that goes in like that. Ta-da! So let's just bring that up a little bit closer for you. So yeah, they get that, and then you put it out like that, and then we colour it.
Wow.
I think it's amazing.
Come on, Tommy.
So there we go. There is my easy. It's taken me an hour to do, but it won't take you an hour to do because it is very, very easy to do. Magic slider card.
Magic.
What do you think? Excellent. Oh, not that one there. That one there.
Wow.
Wow. So yes,
I love it.
Yeah, I do as well. I've really enjoyed making that, and again, I liked. Oh, excuse me. I like my original one, which I did there with the Santa. That one right there. I think it's great. So Tommy's just coming in to give his seal of approval as well. So I hope you've liked that. It look like there's some nice thumbs up coming in, some wows. So yeah, I hope you've appreciated. I hope you like it. So yes.
Just a quick thing. Another video went out today for this gift bag as well. So check it out on our channel, and it's part of the Global Stampin' Video Hop with the theme of handmade gifts, or gifts idea. And it's a treat bag that I redesigned. We sent it off to the Merry Christmas online craft retreat attendees. So Mandy, you may have noticed that this is fairly similar.
Excellent. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I think that is it. Next week is the gift of giving online coloring masterclass, so check that out on our website as well. And next month it is Apple Harvest, December 2023.
Lovely. December 2020. Oh, sorry. I was thinking 23rd of December. I think Saturday, but then I misheard it wrong.
No.
So anyway, do remember you can purchase anything you've seen us using, or most of the things you see me using tonight. Some of the things have retired, but majority of the stuff you can be purchased from us, sort of stamp sets, papers and so on like that. So do head over to our online shop if you'd like to purchase anything from us.
Last chance
As well. Some of it may be in the last chance sale, so you may grab yourself a bargain if you want to. And if you purchase from us, you get a kit as well. Is still happening, is it?
That is.
So
free card kit and class.
That's it. Excellent. So details from that can be found down in the links in the description down below as well.
Yes.
Lovely. Well, we'll say good night. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back with you again on Sunday evening, same time, same place. But until then, have a great weekend, and we'll see you very soon.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.